I've got a bunch of multi-tool news for you guys, and one of the first things I really want to cover today is how Gerber is under attack by Sun Tools. Now, Sun Tools is one of those places where it's really hard to find any pricing. It's hard to find much more info, but I noticed they had put an ad out on Multi-Tool World on the Facebook group by Jan Holmes. And I followed that ad and I found on gifting.com on about the third page, they have a brand new multi-tool that looks almost exactly like the Gerber Stakeout. Now, it is called the MP-MO26. The fascinating thing about this is they do still keep this tool, the tent stake puller. They have the clip at the bottom, and the plier head really looks pretty much the same as what Gerber has. I think they might have the pocket clip also, but what really changes on this tool is it has 4 outside tools. Now, one of the unique design changes in this tool from Sun Tools is that they have taken this hook and they've actually mounted it this way so the hook comes up. And then what that allows is the possibility of an internal or an external tool to come out, I think underneath it is what they have done. So this actually has 4 external tools instead of 2, like in the actual Gerber Stakeout. And the external tools are a little different than what we find in this one. So there is the knife, but it does have some skeletal, as you can see in the picture, yeah, there's some skeletal cutouts. There's the saw, and then there's sort of like this can opener tool, and then it looks like a screwdriver tool, a little different. The one is more like a fish tool. The one is maybe the can opener. Very, very different, but some of those, you're basically getting those tools for free. So while I don't necessarily care for what they did with them, they should have added a set of scissors. I don't know why they didn't. You are getting more tools than you do get in the Gerber Stakeout. So I would be really interested in picking one of these up. I haven't reached out to them. You have to actually like send them an email, and I wasn't quite sure how I felt about that, but it is definitely something to keep a watch on Sun Tools. They do have a flint rod or the ferrule rod also included. Now, one of their other tools that caught my eye was the MK034. You can see on the screen that it has the ferrule rod, knife, saw, and then the screwdriver and bottle opener. That's a little different right there, the MK034. And then moving on, they actually do have essentially what is their version of just the Stakeout. So I had to go back to Facebook's Multi-Tool World and track this down, the advertisement that was put there. And on the screen, you can see where their version is very similar to the Gerber Stakeout. Now, in my Gerber Stakeout, I've got the hook, the awl, saw, knife, scissors. But if you see on the screen, what they have done is they have the skeletized knife, they have scissors, they have an awl and a saw, but then they, with the hook and the ferrule rod, obviously, clip, but they have added another tool which seems to be like a rope cutter. Now, I don't know why you need that. You already have the knife. It seems like there's tons of pointy, cutty objects on this right here with the scissors and so forth, but they've decided to add that, maybe to differentiate it from the Gerber Stakeout, but it is very similar, very, very close to the Gerber Stakeout. So to some extent, Gerber is under attack. It seems like what's happening is if you get your tools made overseas, you enlist some of the help of the companies over there, in just a year or two, they will copy. But of course, they will copy even if you don't enlist their help. So I guess it really doesn't matter. But those are coming out. They definitely will be competition against Gerber if they ever become readily available. At the moment, they are not, but they look very, very close to Gerber, something to keep an eye on. Now, what I want to talk about next is actually this knife display tray or holding tray that I actually bought off of Amazon, and it works pretty good. It holds a full-size Gerber MP600. I've got some tools that I have slated for some reviews coming up to talk about, but most of these I'm going to talk about today. But yeah, so it holds a lot of these multi-tools pretty nicely. Now, when you get a thicker multi-tool like this GHK, it doesn't completely fit that with the pocket clip. Well, I guess it does like that. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this tray. It holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 multi-tools. I forget what the price is, but I will put it up on the screen. It took a long time, a very long time to come from overseas. Essentially, I bought it off of Amazon and it seemed like AliExpress. So make sure you're prepared for that, but overall it's pretty nice. And we'll go ahead and pick 2 tools out of here because this is what I want to talk about next. These are pretty amazing because it seems like these are coming from GHK, the new GHK 26G10 multi-tool. Now, essentially what that is they have taken this tool right here that I talked about, spring-loaded pliers. So this has this almost like a black finish on it. Then it has these really nice scissors that almost look like they're from the Next Torch Pioneer. Really, really cool. These trauma-style scissors. Pocket clip, spring-loaded pliers, pretty large knife, serrated blade, saw, the flat screwdriver, and then the can opener, wire stripper notches on here. Yeah, it's a pretty nice tool, and it seems like GHK is going to put some G10 on it that will look very similar to the Byberry Wave Alpha clone. So on the screen, you should see some pictures where I found on GHK's website. These look really nice. You can see those huge scissors off to the side, just like we have in this one. Let's go ahead and fold this, and I'll show you. Yeah, there we go. So basically, that's what you see on the screen, and then you see it in red, bright yellow, orange, and green, which I think looks great. Now, unfortunately, it does seem like GHK releases pictures of tools that maybe are sold in China, but not over here for a long time. I was talking about the GHK 21, which became the GHK 17 for maybe a year before it made it to the US. I hope we don't have to wait a year for that, but I mean, it looks nice in G10. Very, very nice. I hope it isn't extremely expensive, but it does look like a very cool tool. And then when you see another picture, they actually have one in black with the red washers, which most of them have the red washers. I guess the red one has gold washers. But yeah, these look like very sharp tools. I really like the pliers on these. I think they seem pretty tough. So you almost have a Leatherman Surge handle. It's really close. On the one side, it's basically your Leatherman Surge. Well, actually, both sides are almost 4.5 inches. So this is a larger tool. And then for it to have that G10 would be really, really nice. Now, for those of you who love watches like I do, I thought I would just mention this. This is the new Hero Force in green. I don't know if there are any reviews about this on YouTube, but I really like how this turned out. All right, so I think I might have a little bit of a problem. I've gotten a little bit addicted to collecting watches as well. So I have the Pagani watch. I've got the Invicta here. The nicest one in here is this Seiko. I really like this with the numbers on the bezel. I'm a fan of that design. And my favorite value watch has been this. It's a really weird name, but it's like Pogar or something like that from AliExpress. I actually got 2 different ones. This is the silver dial, and then this is the light blue. And this one I added the orange strap to, which is really nice. But yeah, those come in for around $20. I was pretty happy with that. So this is a pretty nice one as well, the Addy's dial. This actually does have a white dial, your normal quartz movement in there. But just recently, I ran across the Hero Force. Now this one, it will be hard to focus on the dial, but yeah, it has almost like a wave pattern that changes. I don't know that I guess it is, there are ripples that are raised on the dial, but it is pretty cool how it changes with the light. And then even the lume, for a little bit at least, is pretty good. So here is a little bit of a shot showing how it is loomed to some extent, at least for maybe a minute. A lot of times these cheaper watches don't stay loomed very long. Now this watch comes in many different colors. It does come in a darker blue, a light blue, black, comes with a gold case, a lot of pretty cool options. I don't know that this is necessarily the best watch for you. It does have hollow watch bands. These do feel a little bit chintzy, but I have to say that the clasp is one of the nicer clasps that I have found. I think it's better than even the $70 Pagani watch, which isn't saying much. Almost anything is. For the moment, I do really like this. I feel like even the quartz in here, they try to almost do a copy of, I think it's the VK63, which feels a little bit more like an automatic watch. It's pretty neat. So compare these two watches. These are both, let me get the blue one out. It's a little bit easier to see, I think. Yeah, so if you look at the watch hand, this one right here is pretty much your regular quartz, where it just does that boom, boom, second, second. Where this one right here, it tries to copy the GMT and then it tries to copy almost like an automatic movement, which is fascinating. Yeah, it's really different how Chinese watch brands are evolving, and around $20 you can buy some pretty neat watches. Will they last? I have no clue, but I'm going to test that out, see how long they last. I love these for now.